We are live. And then, so I'll just do a quick sales script overview and the sales process overview as well. And then Aaron will come in and then we can just kind of open it up to Q&A. Aaron is our sales coach. He has a shop out in Indiana. He's killing it, man. Yeah, I'll have him tell you guys about him. But William, good to see you there. Okay, cool. So now that we're live, let me go ahead and share my screen. And then I'm just gonna open up the sales script. So if you're unfamiliar with it, I'll show you guys. So this is just the training area that I'm in. So if you see the sales script tab, you just can open it up here. But this is the script itself. So just to break this sales script down, the first part is all about building rapport with the person on the other end. So this right here, man, building rapport is probably what I would say, probably one of the most important parts right next to closing, transitioning to the close. But building the rapport is really where you learn about the lead, you learn about their vehicle, what vehicle they have, and really just try to be more personable with that person on the other end. And why I think building rapport is probably one of the most important pieces is because it really helps lower any sort of skepticism or any sort of hesitation that that person might have. And then just to kind of break this down, we have the sales script outline. This is, again, you can find it here in the scripts and guides, but this right here just kind of breaks down the entire sales process at a high level, right? The sales script just kind of walks you through that piece by piece. But building rapport, just complimenting their vehicle, knowing exactly what vehicle they have, any kind of, especially if it's like a unique vehicle or something that you don't see too often, asking them about it, just basically trying to get them to open up, right? Because naturally, you're a stranger talking with a stranger, they're going to naturally have some sort of guard up there. And then the next piece would be transitioning to the process. And the best way I can highlight this is just explaining it in plain English, right? Without the detailing jargon that you might see. And I would even say paint correction would be one of those. Decon, right? Just those kind of terms that we're all familiar with, but the person on the other end might not be familiar with. So just rewording something like decon, just breaking it down or explaining it in a very easy to understand way is important for them to understand exactly what you're offering them, right? So this is something like the decon process, right? We all throw it around because it's just a part of the way we talk. But when you say it to them, they're going to be like, what the heck is a decon? What is decontamination? And I think, the best way to really highlight that is to just say, hey, we're basically cleansing your clear coat, right? We're removing all the impurities out of the clear coat. And the same thing for paint correction, right? The different stages of paint correction, you can explain those different stages in, man, you guys tell me what you think, but I would say that like a percentage base is probably the best way to break down the paint correction side. But Stephen, have you found like a good way to kind of break down the paint correction side there, Stephen?
Yeah, the percentage is, like you said, it to me is always the best. You never want to even go as far to over, you always want to underpromise, right? Especially before you see the vehicle. Because traditionally, when you're in this stage I actually like this script. I haven't seen this. I'm gonna look at this. Anyway, but when you're on this stage, most likely you haven't seen the vehicle in person. So you
Right.
might want to say, okay, we're doing a one-step paint correction. That'll give you, under deliver. So say 50 to 60% clarity or more, depending on the condition. Some people might say 70%, whatever you're comfortable with. Then you could say, possibly you can do a two-step paint correction. That'll be 75 to all the way up to maybe even perfect, maybe close to 100. So yeah, the percent thing I think is the best way to do it.
Yeah, and like Steven said, you definitely want to underpromise on like your ability or what you're comfortable with because this right here will set that expectation for them seeing the final result. And it gives you that leeway of like, hey, if it actually is, closer to 30%, but you deliver 50%, it just kind of blows their expectations out of the water. And then the next piece here, number 3, is just kind of touching on the key points of the coding itself. So this isn't about the decon process or the paint correction process, but just the benefits they can expect from the coating itself, right? The protection, the shine, the ease of maintenance, right? I think those three are the big three that most people are looking for with the ceramic coating itself. And then the next piece is just creating urgency. So giving them a good reason to schedule now versus putting it off until springtime. Because you're going to see that a lot, right? They're going to say, oh, I'm just looking around. I'm really just trying to see, I'm just trying to get quotes for the springtime. But, realistically, if they understand what they're buying, they like the price, we want to create that urgency so that they're more inclined to book now rather than kick it off until springtime. And one of the best ways to do this is just to highlight what you have available, right? So December, depending on your shop, it might be a little bit more busier. January might be busier, but just creating that urgency of like, hey, we're usually booked out this time of year. Basically having a contrast between when the next slot is available to how far you're booked out. We want to create that contrast there. So it's like, if we have a slot next week, you don't want to put it off until springtime because then by then, you're not going to be able to get a special discount or some sort of bundle to really kind of incentivize them to act now, to act sooner rather than later. Any questions on any of these four that I've covered so far?
No question. I would like to just add to the explaining the process part just real quick. I've noticed that if you're dealing with like the ladies, if you talk about decon as like kind of like their makeup routine. Hey, if you wash your face, but then you put on a black strip nose pore thing or a peelable mask, why is it dirty? It's because stuff's in the pores of our skin. We want to clear that out before we moisturize, we put in protection, right? Sometimes we might want to exfoliate, get that dry skin off before we put on something to moisturize. So I noticed when you can bridge the gap so people can understand the importance of the different steps, especially with females, because they understand that whole process of
Yeah,
exfoliating and
skincare. Yeah.
cleansing, it can wire their brain and connect the dots a lot easier and get those guys to sell a lot or buy a
Yeah,
lot easier.
that's a great example of an analogy that you can just use regardless of the person's gender. But yeah, just
Right.
things like that that just quickly like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense, right? Without having to explain, oh, first we start off with the wash and then we clay bar, then we do a iron removal, right? Just those kind of analogies can make the biggest difference in them just like, oh, that makes sense. That process, that specific step makes sense. Cool. So right here, number 5, discount and taking deposits. I would call this the close because this is where we're trying to get them to commit to putting down a deposit, scheduling an appointment. So this part is very important. In a little caveat there to the discount. In previous coaching calls, we've talked about offering, I say the word discount, but they're not real discounts. We're just adjusting your price to account for that discount, right? So if you're charging $1,000 for a coating, I would quote them $200 more, 1,200. Offer that as an incentive to get them to book, to create that urgency, to get that close with that $200 off discount. So a dollar amount is just one form of offering a discount. There's a couple others that work really well, like um, adding in a wheel coating or windshield coating if they get their paint coated.
Like leather seats or something, which is
Yeah,
easy.
interior coatings as well. Just doing the interior itself is a great way to really just, hey, we're cleaning the inside and the outside of your vehicle. But yeah,
Maybe a follow-up wash or something after 2 weeks and a free inspection.
exactly. Yeah. Just something that really, and this would only apply if they're on the fence, right? If they're like, oh, let me think about it, or, that price is a little kind of hefty, then that's when you would introduce that discount. Discounts or incentives.
I know a lot of guys, especially throughout these phone calls throughout the past couple of months, a couple of guys have had an issue with feeling that the discounted rates. But say, for instance, like I know even on my ads now, I don't think you're doing the discount thing on mine you're running. I think you changed it,
Right.
and it's actually been working out better for me. Like I'm not having people really asking about a discounted rate. The best thing you want to do is just offer, things versus doing a discount. But if you are doing a discount, just raise your prices higher. There was a meme. There was a meme about I forgot what I think it was like AirPods, and it was like Leonidas and 300, and it's like 499 regular price, 499 second regular price, and then at the very end it's like charge, and it was like 699 on sale for 499. So
Exactly.
just if you want to get $1,500 for the job or 1,000 or 2,000, just raise the price 300 and then just, oh, I'm giving you a $300 discount. It's really that simple.
Exactly. Yeah. And that right there, I think, especially if, man, in some markets, we've seen that like they almost like even if the price, even if they can afford it, right? Even if it's like a 2024 Corvette, right? They can obviously afford it. They still wanted that discount. They still asked for that discount towards the close. It could help them push them, it could help them make that commitment sooner, right? So if you book now, if you book within the next 48 hours, right, we can offer that $200 off discount. And it
Even this,
incentivizes them to book sooner.
so even something like this, like how long does it, we're talking about coatings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long does it, you guys, I don't know who's new or whatnot, but it takes you literally a couple minutes to do the windows.
Yeah.
Typically, you can upcharge someone, say 100, 150, 200. How long does it really take you to do wheels? And typically, like you're between 50 and $100 per wheel, depending on who you are. So even if you don't want to necessarily give a discount, you can all, if you do give a discount or you don't, it's irrelevant, but you have an extra ammunition in your pocket where you can offer, hey, like Sal said, hey, look, within 48 hours, I'll do this. If it's still on the fence, how about this? I really don't technically do this, but I'll do your wheels and your windows free of charge. So even if someone makes a lot of money, a lot of times folks, the more money they make, typically they're very frugal with how they spend their money. They'll spend the money, but they want it to feel like it's a deal. So our
Yeah.
goal is to make it feel like a deal, even if we're getting the price we want. That's irrelevant because detailing is really selling.
Yeah. Especially at those higher price points, right? Like Steven mentioned, people just want to make sure they're getting the best bang for their buck, right? So adding the wheels, even if it's something you already include in your package, just mentioning it to them to kind of for them to feel like they're getting more, right? You're breaking down. It's not just a ceramic coating package, it's the decon, the paint correction, the wheels, the windshield, and the ceramic coating on your paint and the wheels and windshield. So now you've kind of broken down like one big package into small pieces that they can understand better. Right? They're just getting the full picture. Any questions about the number, I guess, step 5 right here?
No, we're good.
But as far as like building rapport stage, explaining the process, key benefits of the coatings, creating urgency, I would say number 4 and number 5 are probably where you get to that close, right? You're giving the price, you're creating urgency, right? You're incentivizing them to book now. Any questions on this part?
Not exactly. I mean, I did run through the script and I made my own little script based on what's going to work for us.
Nice.
I actually did that last night. I have some pages here. I'm probably mainly going to be worried about objection handling because like I do have experience calling up leads, but I don't have experience in sales like a lot of other people might have. I'm still fairly young. So I just got to work on that. It's mainly objection handling and probably portraying value over the phone. It's a lot easier for me saying, hey, look at what I can do for you rather than telling somebody. Personally, I'm more of a logical thinker and not too emotional when I speak, very monotonous. So it's a little hard for me to convey enthusiasm over the phone. So I feel like that's what I really need to work on.
Yeah, and I want to be clear, the way we approach sales is not like a used car salesman. We just want to give them, we just want to make sure they're understanding the information in their speak, right? In their language, in plain English, basically, not with the detailing jargon there. But yeah, great point, Daniel. Objections. And I would say that, and Aaron will hop on here shortly, and we talked about this before, but I would say with objections, we almost want to overcome them. We want to like mention that objection before they even get the chance to mention it. So we're preventing that objection before they can even ask. So kind of giving them a reason to like basically answering that concern, that objection that they may have. So Daniel, Justin, Marco, what are some common objections you guys are running into or are maybe worried about popping up?
I got to talk to my spouse. Let me think about it. The guy down the street does it for X. Why are you different?
Yeah.
Those are kind of the common
Yeah,
ones.
pretty similar.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say those are probably the most common 3 or 4. Steven, if you're open to it, would you be okay with kind of giving your thoughts on overcoming those objections?
Yes. The spouse thing, you kind of have to feel the call out. I've learned with the spouse thing, it's either one, they're just iffy about either what they're getting, if it is it's worth it to them, or two, they're full of crap and they have no intention of using you regardless of what you say. But for the most part, when it comes to doing objections, in my opinion, you just have to learn it by practice. It doesn't matter if you're whatever industry you're in, you really just have to practice and get to know and feel out how people are. It's always easier if you're in someone's face. It's always easier, like the gentleman said, if he can show someone like him, because I'm about to be 36 this year, so I'm getting up there. But if you're young, you're probably using TikTok, I guess. I don't, but I know a lot of younger guys use TikTok, or even not TikTok, YouTube. What I've done, for instance, just for what the gentleman said, is I started a YouTube channel, not to get subscribers because I don't care about the subscribers, but I started a YouTube channel for the business. And what I'm doing with that is because I do typically like 6 to 8 coatings a week, give or take, or 5 to 8, depending on how good it is. So every vehicle, if it's bad, I'm doing it before video, after video. I'm taking a video around the vehicle, and then what I can do if I have a client who you can't show, you can say, "Hey, I'm Steven with Beyond Clean, et cetera, et cetera." You go through the whole script, and you're going to remix the script, like he said, and then you can go ahead and just send them a YouTube channel, like, "Hey, go on here and check out all these videos I have and all these great transformations I've done, or all these high dollar cars I've done, whatever the circumstance may be." But in me, I just have to make it work for myself. Typically, what works for me, when what a lot of other guys say doesn't really work for me personally. Some guys are aggressive. You're going to see these sale coaches, they're all different. The way Aaron does it is going to be different than like some are really aggressive. I think Aaron is the really sophisticated guy, correct? Is that the younger one?
Yeah,
Who
Aaron.
watches a lot of, he watches a lot of self-coaching and stuff. His
Yeah,
style is different, which is
yeah,
his style is great. They're all great. Some guys, like I said, so you got to figure out what works for you. And it's probably not really answering the question, but when I first started, not necessarily with Sal, but just in general, I'll really get down on, man, this works for this guy. Why is it not working for me?
yeah,
Oh my God, why, you just have to figure out your own swag, and that's sales. Like, we're not selling a used car that the carburetor is broken. We're selling a service that is legitimately good for the person if they care about their car. So it's up to you to explain why it's worth you doing this to your car if you care about your car. If they don't care about their car, they don't care about a ceramic coat.
right. 100%. Yeah. And I think, Steven, just to kind of double click on that, I think once you understand like what your style is, it becomes so much easier because now you know exactly what kind of questions to ask right off the bat. How long are you planning on keeping the vehicle? What is the condition of your paint? Where you can then use that information. We're basically going to try to identify why they were looking to get their car coated. What is the main reason? Like, what is the actual reason they want their car coated? Is it because it's an older gentleman and he just wants to be able to wash it, maintain the paint, and have that entire process be like 30 minutes? Or is it somebody who just cares about the shine? Or is it somebody in Arizona who just wants the UV protection? So once you find their dominant buying motive, that the reason why they're looking to get their car coated, then it becomes so much easier to give reasons on exactly why, how the ceramic coating would help them even more, right? This is UV protection. You don't have to worry about sun fade. It becomes so much easier to kind of double click on that reason why they're looking to get their car coated, without giving them a bunch of without basically just trying to open up the book on ceramic coatings and like all the benefits and everything at once and overwhelming them with information versus you just having that dominant buying motive and then just using that to, use with analogies or just use in general to help them understand what it is and how it can benefit the vehicle.
Yes, exactly. And then you have to know what you're selling and know quickly how to answer the question and sound like you know what you're talking about, which you should.
Yeah.
Like he said, for instance, most people know what a wax does. Most people know what a wax does. I had a guy just commented on my ad. I deleted it, but he was an older guy. He's like, who waxes their car every 2 to 3 weeks? And he did laughing emojis. A douchebag, right? It happens. And I politely responded. I said, well, a wax traditionally only lasts you 2 to 3 weeks at most. So if you want to continue to have protection in your vehicle, you would have to wax your vehicle every 2 to 3 weeks, or you get a ceramic coating. And then he sent me a message. He's a douchebag, whatever, right? But it's really easy to know who you're dealing with and how to do and how to kind of, how do I put it? How to have
What's
a
up,
rebuttal.
everybody?
Aaron, perfect timing, man. We are now going to talk about objections. So I've just broken down each step of the sales process from building rapport, explaining the process, and we just had a quick Q&A section about objections. Aaron, I want to get your take on the preventing, like how to prevent those objections, how to get in front of them
Yeah,
before they even get the
absolutely.
chance to ask.
So objection prevention is a very, very easy term for saying proactive selling. Proactive selling. So
Proactive selling.
you have two types of selling. And by the way, take as many notes as you want, but I do also offer phone calls if you need to call me ever. So you've got two types of selling. You have proactive selling, and then you have reactive selling. Proactive selling is explaining the process and explaining everything that could be an objection before you get to the actual close process. Reactive selling is explaining the entire process, getting to the close with them, and then when they go ahead and react to you and your price, they come up with all of these objections that you have to react to as well. So you go over the entire process. The price for you is $2,000. Okay, $2,000. Well, I know what all is going on. You know what? Let me think about it. I really want to think about the price. I want to think about the coding. I don't really think it's going to be a good idea for me. You know what? Let me talk to my wife. That is a really, really, really common one, because if I can talk to my wife, then I could get the absolute out of here, and then I could go drive home and never have to use you guys. Or I can hang up the phone without being rude if I could just talk to my wife. I really like this coding. The price is perfect. Everything you're doing is perfect. Your process, I love your shop, man. But it's the wintertime. I'm gonna wait until the spring, and then I'm gonna do it in the spring. That's it. Perfect. No. What happens if you can say, hey, the price is $2,000. How can I get on your schedule? What date in January? I will drop it off immediately. And if they can rush to you and not come up with all of these different scenarios because you proactively sold them, you're a winner. And so that's what I train on. That's what I do. You're going to have objections. You can proactively sell as much as physically and humanly possible. You're still going to have some objections here and there. So we do work on handling those objections because they're not completely out of the picture. However, that is the best way when it comes to a sales process. The best way is to proactively sell somebody on why they need you and why there's no other options out there. Can I ask you, Daniel, what's your purpose for doing what you're doing?
Well, in the beginning, I had basically it's a little different just because I have a mobile detailing company out of Belleville, which is a town right next to Nutley. So my partner is top rated in Nutley, 110 5-star reviews. I'm top rated for mobile detailing in Belleville with about 70 something 5-star reviews. So we decided to combine and we want to start a ceramic coating center. Basically, we just want to make it very easy, accessible, and grow a nice company for ceramic coating specifically in the area, delivering top-notch work. Because in my area right now, it's like the people I talk to, they're getting quotes all around the board. They're like, hey, somebody's going to give me a ceramic coating for $400. Another person's quoting me $3,000. And then when I talk to them, nobody really knows the difference. So I think what we're trying to do is grow a brand that everybody knows, resonates with, good company, does good work, so that they're not so much as, questioning what is a ceramic coating. This person says this person says that. We just want to grow a nice business where everybody says, okay, this is what we go to you for. Good work. We understand what it is going to do, what it's not going to do, and be very transparent with everybody.
Okay. And so you don't care about money at all?
Of course I care about money. Yeah.
I'm curious.
I feel like I needed to know to say that. But yes, of course, money. However, personally for me, I like business more than I like detailing ceramic coating business. So this is going to be more about knowledge for me. My partner, he's older than me. He's 40 with a wife and a kid, and he wants money more than I care about money. I'm at the point where in life where I can just live more comfortable than my parents at where I'm at right now and be okay. I don't have expenses. I make good money. So for me, it's more about learning how to grow a huge company because I have other plans for my future. But yeah, at the end of the day, I like money.
Love it. Justin?
Yeah, man. My purpose when I first started this was, and I got so tired of climbing people's corporate ladders, just to solve a problem. And they'd be like, cool, you're good there. It's like, no, I'm here to climb. And so I didn't like that, man. I was always the hardest worker. Always had a big chip on my shoulder. Always wanted to be the best. And just my experience as being an employee, very off-putting. So of course I got lured to the unemployment. So really freedom of choice, not so much time, because that was the, and to me that's worth everything. I don't have a ceiling over my head. I have nothing capping me. I don't have a company ladder. My ladder is as high as I want to climb, when I want to climb it, as fast as I want to get there. So to me, that freedom to exercise my speed and my determination at my own will is why I do what I do. And of course I love money, and I love adding that value and having that with detailing in general, just having that, that quick turnover. I could start a project, finish project, get that dopamine hit from my clients, you rock, and then, take the pictures. And it's just very rewarding for me to get something that looks like ass. And then by the time I get the keys over, it looks like showroom quality. It just feels good.
I love that.
I couldn't be a tax collector, man. I couldn't piss people off all day. It's just not me.
I love it. That's what you were doing, a tax collector?
No, I'm just saying, man, I couldn't have a job where people just hate to see me. They're like, shit, the tax is here.
Yeah. No,
I love people like, damn, Justin, you rock. Like, thank you.
I love that. Yeah,
that's
for
a big driving force
for sure. I love it. So Daniel had a little bit of he was business purpose. You have more so personal purpose, and then you tied a little bit of the business in. So this is
like
fantastic information.
One.
No one's wrong here, by the way. Just let's
get
that straight.
There's no wrong answers. It doesn't. Yeah, and Daniel, I think you and Aaron, man, you should attach yourself to Aaron, because I think you guys have aligned goals.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Aaron is super busy.
Yeah, we're both young too.
Yeah,
I love it.
You guys are both, man. How old are you, Daniel?
I'm 20.
How old are you, Aaron?
Headphones are not working. 19.
19. Love it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Daniel and Aaron, I know it's insane. But yeah, Daniel, you can talk to Aaron. He's an open book, man. He doesn't keep any secrets.
Good to hear. Neither do I.
I love it. I don't keep any secrets. If I kept a secret, I guess I keep some secrets, but you don't know about that.
You don't know about those secrets.
I can't. Yeah. Let me. I can share my entire pathway to where I got, but I'm very blunt with a lot of people too. So I don't know if any of you guys here use OrbisX, but I do all the OrbisX consultations. Marco can attest to this, and I'm a pretty open book when it comes to that, because I'm not just, hey, this is how you set up. This is not how you set up OrbisX and okay, bye. This is okay, this is now that you've got OrbisX set up, let's get your business set up too. What I found is a lot of people actually will they'll love your story, they'll love how far you got, and then they don't take any action. And so the cool thing about this group is that everybody here at least tries to take action, and failure is totally fine. Oh my gosh, I've failed so many times. One of the biggest failures was, I think it was in a technology transaction. I think we lost oh gosh, I think it was $2,000 or $3,000, but just, it's not the money. It was just like you learn so many things, and I'm grateful that my transactions are not, crazy where I'm losing, tens of thousands of dollars, but the biggest way to learn is to just do it. And there's two different types of business owners. There's the business owners that are visionaries, that are hyped up about every single word that they say, and you're kind of in sales and you want to grow, and like I want to add ceramic coatings, and I also want to add icon rock clear, but I also want to add paint protection film, and I want to add tint. Like, let's go. Like, why is there 5 cars in the shop? Let's get 10 cars in the shop. Like, what is going on here? And then there's those business owners that are like, there are 3 cars in the shop. We are doing freaking amazing. Let's keep getting 3 in every single day. We're doing fine. And maybe once this pans out and we're at, 25% net profit margins, we'll take, tint, and we'll start adding tint. And then let's draw out my plan for 5 years, and let's get to there in 5 years, and let's set all these goals up. And neither are wrong. But the biggest advantage that I believe I have with my business partner is that I am that visionary. I'm that first guy I just spoke about, and my business partner is the second guy. And so I basically will come up with a crazy idea, and he'll either validate it or throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And so
He's
that's
the
the
one to
best
tell you
thing.
you're crazy.
Yes. And when I am crazy, I'll say, no, I'm not crazy. Just listen to me. We got an extra 5,000. Let's just spend it. I promise it'll get us 10% returns in the next, in the next three and a half weeks. Like, please just let me throw this on a marketing campaign. Like, just give me $5,000. And then you get down to the end of it, and he's like, no. I just did the calculations here, and it's not going to come back in 3.5 weeks, but maybe 3.5 months. And we don't have an extra $5,000 to spend. And so those are the things that a business partner is really good for, but sometimes they also don't work out, which is why not everybody has business partners. But like, when you can bounce ideas off of somebody else, whether it be in your example, Justin, your wife, or Daniel with your business partner, he at 40 years old, he might not be making, 200 million a year, but holy cow, just the age alone, he's got so much more time in business and wisdom than us. It's like just milk them. Like, what can I learn from you that I did not know before? And you don't know what you don't know. It's very simple. You don't know what you don't know. Is there anybody that's like,
No.
I want to learn.
Okay.
Aaron,
Okay.
I think we talked about this this morning. I think that's all in your head, man. I think,
It's fine. It's in my head.
No, but I think for the most part, Aaron, we covered the entire sales process at a high level. If anybody has any questions, I guess now would be the best time to open it up to open floor Q&A. It could be objections. Aaron, you talked at a high level how to prevent those objections, but let's get tactical. Any specific objections? I think, Aaron, you covered let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. Any other objections that you guys have or just want to pick Aaron's brain on?
What about somebody that's just really adamant about getting the price immediately? I'm just calling around, blah, blah, blah. Like, are you just setting a price anchor there and then just quickly going over the product and the service and everything you're doing? How do you go about that one?
It's a great question. Would it put you on the spot if you had to find a call where someone said that?
I'd have to dig. I could probably get it prepared for next week.
Okay. No, it's fine. So what does your sales process look like now? Because that all depends. Do you try and get people in the door to come and look at your shop, or are you mainly doing phone sales or text sales or email sales or video sales?
Great question. My whole strategy has been wing it up to this point. So obviously if they call, I'm going to answer the phone. Ideally, what I would like and what I've been putting a lot more effort into is just my sales flow. Very recent. But I guess the goal would be to schedule more of a discovery call. So they know I'm going to be calling at 3. And then so I can give more of like a pitch. And then, if it's a newer, lighter colored vehicle, sell them over the phone. But if it's not, try to get the in-person consultation where I'm able to close at a higher rate.
Okay.
Basically my sales process.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sometimes good at this, sometimes not. Are you in your house right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you do you detail and coat out of your garage? Isn't that crazy how I can kind of decipher just from how you're talking?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good,
Yeah.
man.
So
Nostradamus.
I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a while. So to bring them to your garage doesn't seem like the absolute best idea when it comes to a consultation. To bring them to your house, when they just see a residential address, do you have people that have done that before or not yet?
No, actually, that was my biggest worry when I closed down my big shop. And that hasn't been the issue at all. Actually, most people are like, dude, this is awesome. I homeschool my kids. Once I start talking about the educational system and how it's going downhill real fast, they get it. And they're like, dude, I wish I could do that. So I haven't seen any objections about coming to my house. I'm right off the 5. I live on a golf course, so I'm not in the back of a 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Okay. Where are you at? What's city or state?
Redding, California. So that's like far northern California, basically southern.
Okay. I was just there. So the first thing that I would do is, if they're adamant on price, I would say some sort of anchor, not a price anchor, but some sort of anchor going along the lines of, yes, Susan, I totally understand that. And then with your voice and your tone, you kind of want to slow it down a little.
Yeah.
And you want to almost sound confused. Okay. What this is going to do, this confusion is going to put a little bit of psychology in their brain of like, oh man, I kind of feel bad for asking now. So when you say, hey, Susan, yeah, I totally understand what you're trying to say. Yeah. And you know what? I actually get that question a lot. And you see how I'm kind of slow? I'm kind of like thinking it through. Like, Justin, if you were listening to me, would you feel bad for asking me that question?
I would either feel bad or I'd be wondering if you were trying to figure out how much you could squeeze out of me.
Okay.
By not knowing.
But before even getting to the price, just slowing them down would create that contrast where they're coming off almost not necessarily aggressive, but right, they're really trying to push that price out of you.
Right.
Where you're contrasting that with, whoa, let's slow down a little bit, kind of like just in the way you're talking.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, I've been really trying to figure out how to just give somebody a number, and then you can kind of speed up a little bit. But Susan, I mean, first off, I don't even know the year, make, and model of your car, so I can't price this based off of just a regular sized car when you could be driving a F450 pickup truck, or you could be driving a C8 convertible. But then furthermore, I don't know if you want, all your plastics coated, or your paint coated, or your wheels or your tires coated. I mean, honestly, there's just so many options. Do you want my 1-year coating, or my 5-year coating, or my 7-year coating, or do you want graphene, or do you want ceramic? And man, I'm almost tripping up on my words. There's so many different options. Would there be a good time for you to swing by my shop? I would love to show you what we do, why we do it, and go over the different packages we offer and pricing then. And then you want to ask them this question that's very, very, it's $1 million question. Everybody wants to say no. Can you come in person, Justin? No. Can I see you in person? No. Well, just give me a price. Okay, well, what's, how soon you look? No. Okay. So take that no, and you want to build a question that will get them to say no. So you say, would you be against coming to my shop? Would you be against coming in person?
Right.
No, I wouldn't be against it at all. That, Justin, that's actually a great idea, because you can't really quote my car by just me sharing it over the phone. I mean, I have this scratch I want you to take out, but I don't even know if you could take it out. And then they kind of sell themselves on coming in to see you.
Right.
You can flip that also to be on the phone, and I can help you with that kind of after the call if you need. But to flip that to be towards the phone call. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Let me, you know what? Would you be against me asking you a few questions about your vehicle? Just so I can understand what I'm working with just a little bit more. You know, I'm all for clowns and Halloween, but I don't love jump scares.
Hold on, that was a little nugget, dude. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Would you be against me asking you a few questions just over the phone? I would really like to get to know about you and your vehicle a little more, especially before I take money from you. When you tell somebody to do something or to not do something, you're only just giving them the what to or not to do. But when you actually explain why, it gets it cemented into their brain. I know you're climbing the corporate ladder. Have you ever had guys under you where you had to train them?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing with your clients. You want to train them on why they should do business with you. And one of those training things is the why, explaining why they need your services, explaining why you should, you are the company that they should work with.
Aaron, real quick, what are some reasons to get that why out of them? Or what are some questions to ask to get that why out of them?
Well, you're not getting the why out of them right now. That's their dominant buying motive, but you're actually giving them your why as to why you can't just give them a price immediately, and why you kind of need to see their vehicle, or why you need more information, or why it's best to talk through with everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this all flowing for you guys?
Yeah, no, this is great, man.
Excellent.
This is great. Yeah.
I
Any
accept
other?
tips.
I'm confused.
Go ahead.
Let's
I'm just
unconfuse
kidding.
you.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Stephen has been in these for months.
Oh yeah, man. Like I told him, Aaron is the CEO.
that's okay.
What?
Let's see you handle that objection.
Yeah, can't afford that. I just handled that objection yesterday, actually. I didn't put the pressure on him. I didn't want to, but I was almost going to squeeze 3,500 out of him. I ended up only squeezing 2,500, but he's probably going to add the undercoating. Man, he was like, oh, I wish I had it recorded. He was like, I don't think that I can go anywhere past $1,000. Like, that is like my cap. And I just shot straight with him. I was kind of confused. Oh man. We might not be a good fit for each other, man. I am sorry. And then he was like so persistent on coming in the shop, seeing the tour. Like, he was so persistent. He was booking no matter what. There was no sale there. He had been following our Facebook page and Instagram for a while. And he was actually like telling me about the cars that were on my Instagram page. He was like, he came in for the consultation and I was on a phone call booking another guy. I had booked him. And I go out and my client experience coordinator, Kelly, she was like, this guy was watching your videos while he was sitting down. I'm like, what a G.
And Daniel, this would tie back into what you're looking to do, right? You're wanting to create that brand, right? The best way to do it is through video, man. Just showcase your work, showcase what you're doing, show the process, explain it, and you get more interactions like that. People get more and more familiar with you as a person that they see past the logo, right? I think you want your logo to shine for sure, but there's a person behind that logo. In this case, it would be Aaron, but they're feeling more and more comfortable with Aaron through those videos because Aaron's just explaining the process or he's showing something that he did. And it creates that, like, hey, I know this guy can deliver. It creates that kind of like rapport before you even talk to them. Right?
Can I ask a question?
And
Go ahead, Daniel.
So my question is for the videos, Aaron. Are you in all of them, or do you have like a lot of your team going through things? Like, are you the face of the brand at the moment?
Yes and no. I am definitely the face of the brand, but I believe, and I don't have any data to back this up, but I believe that I have this structured where I do not have golden handcuffs. Does anybody here know what golden handcuffs are?
Yeah.
No, but I know what you mean. I follow your page, so the way you do it, is really good.
Thank you, Steve.
What the heck
So,
are golden handcuffs, Aaron?
yeah, so golden handcuffs, if I were to sell this business, they need me to keep producing. They need me to sell more. I have golden handcuffs, which means that I am the one that needs to stay with the company after the sale. And in that case, the answer to that, I think we've been doing a killer job of not having that. So I'm in all the ads. I'm not in all of the branding videos.
Yeah.
People definitely know me by name and by face, but if somebody else were to take that over, it would not be detrimental to the company.
Okay.
Just follow his page.
Something-
Give me your page,
Yeah.
Which page?
your business page.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get more leads from other detailers than actual coding clients. Holy cow!
Because I saw a video you had, I don't know how recently, where you were doing a PPF, I believe, on like a headlight or something. So you couldn't even really tell who was doing it, but you were zoomed in and you were just doing the squeegee nice and slow. I was like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah. But you're still
Thanks,
creating
brother.
that brand awareness at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I don't think that was me squeegeeing. I'm not gonna lie.
Daniel, to answer your question, I would highly recommend being in front of the camera, breaking down your process. You can also record the vehicle and talk over it if you don't want to be in front of the camera, just to still get your process out there, just so that when somebody sees that video, they're still getting an idea of everything that goes into it.
Yeah, I don't mind being in front of the camera. It's just towards for like in the future, I want myself to be separate. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the brand to be me. If I leave, that's it. Like, we don't have anything anymore. We don't have a company. If I'm gone, nothing to keep going on without me.
No, you build it successful enough, man. It'll be good. I mean, Steve Jobs was Apple, Bill Gates was Microsoft, and you can go down the line. I mean, when Elon Musk sells Tesla, it's Tesla's still going to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes down to something we could probably talk about in an entire coaching call, which is building that team and what that looks like.
Yes, I like that. That's what I want to do.
Beautiful. Aaron, next week's call will be team building. Or at least what that looks like.
Team building. Okay.
Yeah. Training, right? Core values, how to create a well-oiled machine.
Fine with me.
And the cool thing about this is it could be at any volume, right? You could go super high volume, you could go low volume. It's still going to apply, right? You still want to have a good team that you can trust, that's well trained to execute that.
All right,
See you,
guys.
Steven.
Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah.
Nice to
Good
meet you,
wrapping it
Ahmed.
up there. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
A lot of nuggets.
See you
Peace.
guys.
Later, guys.
Thank you.